What is up, you guys? I'm so excited for us to be back for a solo episode this week. Truly, after last week, I had no idea how I was going to follow up behind the beauty, the wonder, the mystery that was and is still Emily Cotto. I'm so grateful that she was our first guest on the podcast, but I truly have been, as you know, racking my motherfucking brain to figure out who to bring you guys, who I want on the podcast. It kind of sets the tone, so it's a lot of pressure. Obviously, outside of my friend group and like people I innately know, I'm still stumped because I want them to be amazing guests. I know anyone I bring on will be amazing, but I want you guys to be excited about them too, just as much as I would be. And I don't know, just them to fit like the vibes, if that makes sense. I know you guys get what I'm saying. I'm really like still struggling to figure out who to bring on. So again, if you have any suggestions, if you have anyone you guys personally would want to see, or just topics you'd want me to talk about and I can source guests that way, let me know. Always leave me in the comments, or you can always reach out via any of our socials or even our email, which is opendialogue.pod on every platform you can literally fucking think of at this point. But I'm excited to be back. I know it's been a little bit of a hiatus. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks since I put out that episode. And I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, a bitch has been going through it, okay? It's a lot of just my own like personal things. It's not anything too traumatic, because actually a lot of good is happening, and we will get into it. We're gonna give you a life update. I feel like you guys are deserved it at this point. But a lot of it really did have to do with my own like mental health issues. I'll be real with you guys. And just things that I was struggling with. And we all know that we get that fucking little demon on our shoulder sometimes. It'll be like, you're not doing good enough. You're not doing shit. Like, why are you not doing this? And it almost keeps us from moving. It keeps us stagnant. So I've definitely been dealing with that. And I just always want to be real with you guys. I always want to keep it 100. And I always want to be consistent. And if I'm not consistent, I want to make sure that I'm having that honest combo, that honest, just real kind of talk, if you will, girl talk, if you will, to let you know what's going on with me. I'm sure you guys can hear it in my voice a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. I'm definitely not feeling my best in this capacity. I also was trying to record this via my desktop, which is what I always do, and now I'm recording it on my phone. So if the quality's shit, if the recording, like, audio quality is little shit, bear with me, you guys, okay? I wanted to get an episode up for you. I wanted to get one up for myself. I really don't want to have weeks and weeks and weeks and months trailing behind these, because I do enjoy the podcast, and I think the worst thing we can do sometimes for ourselves is to not continue doing what we love, is to stop, is to let ourselves get bogged down by fear and excuses and just really any, again, kind of excuse that can really keep you stuck and really stagnant. And then that just makes me more unhappy. And again, we'll get into that in a sec. But thank you guys so much for listening, for anybody listening to this right now, supporting this, people that have messaged me saying, where's the next podcast? Where's the next podcast? I really love and appreciate that. And it just makes me fucking smile that people care about something that I'm passionate about and even want to listen or to be a part of it at all. So I'm really grateful, and I fucking love you guys. And thank you for kicking my ass and making me get to this stupid little microphone and get something out for you. So this week it is a solo episode. We will be back with a guest in the next few weeks, which is really exciting. I'm going home for the holidays, so I'm going to try to drag my mom onto the podcast. I think that would be really fucking cool too. She's so awesome. I've spoke about her in previous episodes, but I think she would be a really fun just episode altogether. So let's see if I can make that shit happen. But without further ado, let's get into more of a life update. So as you know, it is Sunday, November 20th when I'm recording this. We are near and dear to the holidays, you guys. We are getting there, and I have some exciting news, some exciting things going on in my personal life. However, the holidays have always been a very fun time for me. It's also been a very stressful time as I've been an adult. I feel like, and I mean, let me know, you guys, if this has fucking happened to you. I'm sure we all have those crazy family stories where it's just like, oh, it started like this, and then immediately went downhill and crashed and burned, or fighting happened, or division, or whatever the fuck. I feel like almost nobody has like that cheaper by the dozen family on the holidays, except my boyfriend's family. Like, of course they do. But it's always kind of been like that for me, that it was very tumultuous around the holidays. I come from a mixed family. So, and I'm not even talking mixed like me, babe. I'm talking like, of course, my dad has his own kids, my mom had her own kids, and then combined, we really were a family that had to deal with, again, other parents and people outside of their marriage. So it's always been kind of bittersweet around the holidays. And it's really been something that as I've gotten older, I've really tried to just equalize and not give it as much merit. But I am such a fucking true romantic person, near and dear to my heart. that I love the holidays. I love the holidays. I always have wanted that, like, picturesque white Christmas and the Thanksgiving where all the cousins and aunties and grandmothers and grandparents and your immediate family's there and everybody's sitting at like a 20-person table, which of course has never fucking happened to my family, let's be honest. I have a big family and yet still it's either like part of my family's here, part of them is over here. Sometimes I'm just fucking alone on the holidays. Like, girl, it has been all of it. So I really feel excited because this year a majority of my family is getting together. We're going to North Carolina to my parents' house, so I'm leaving on Wednesday to go to that. And very exciting, fucking plot twist, you guys. My boyfriend is coming too. This is the first boyfriend I've ever had to, like, not two, but like I've ever wanted to bring home to my family, bring home to my parents, and like spend the holidays with. So this is extremely exciting, extremely new. Give me any advice you guys have if you've been in a situation like this down below, because bitch, we all know it can be scary, especially with my parents. I don't know what it is. Like, both my parents were in the military. Both of them are just, it's earth sign energy. Literally, my mom is a Virgo, my dad is a Capricorn. So if that gives you any insight as to them, their personalities, my mom's a Virgo with an Aries moon. And all the astrology girlies just gasp because you know that shit is why I'm the way that I am. But I love my parents to death. Like, they are the best, but they are definitely outspoken, definitely opinionated. And I know they're going to love my boyfriend. I have no issue about that. This is totally my like thing. And as the youngest and the daughter being the youngest, I totally have been putting this moment off for like years and years and years. Like, I met my current boyfriend when I was 18. Granted, we've been dating that whole time now, and that's a story for another day. But it was something that I've always been afraid of, was bringing him back home to my family, just because a lot of, again, within me being that vulnerable, being that exposed. So I'm literally so happy that this is happening and he's doing it. But I would be lying to say that there's not a piece of me that's like, holy shit, this is happening and we're doing it. You know what I mean? Like, it's always nerve-wracking to introduce your new boyfriend or your new significant other to family, especially around the holidays. Like, that's a double whammy to me. But it cannot be avoided, and honestly, that's, I feel like, one of the best ways. My family is very loving and welcome and opening, as is he, so I don't anticipate anything crazy. Like I said, this is all the right timing. But I would love to know, what are your guys' rules about introducing a significant other around the holidays? Would you do it? Would you not do it? Do you think that's taboo? Do you think it's fucking setting people up for failure? What do you guys think? And ultimately, again, is this something that you've done? Please let us know. I'm going to put a poll for the Spotify broadcast, so you can actually vote on that down below. And if it's something that, again, you would do or not do. I'm curious, because I think I would have been the girly before that's like, fuck no, do it on a more neutral time. Don't do it around the holidays, or it's like gonna be doomed. And now I am the girl doing it. I was just drinking one of these like poppy gut health sodas, and now I feel like I'm burping like a sailor. However, I'm really excited. I know it will be amazing, but again, it was something where I was just like, holy shit, we're actually doing this. Like, yeah, so that's a major life update that's happening. I'm gonna be back with my parents for about a month because, drumroll please, I don't move officially to Miami until the end of December, until after Christmas time, and I wanted to be able to spend the holidays with my family and just, you know, relish in my last times there before I'm officially here in Miami. And I know you guys are like, Jenay, we thought you've been in fucking Miami. What's going on? Okay, let me break it down and tell you what's going on. So I've been in Miami for about 3 months and love it. It was literally only supposed to be like a couple weeks, like a little kiki honeymoon trip. And of course, that was a fucking lie. My parents were like, bitch, we knew you were going to end up staying there. And I told you guys I had been looking for a new position. I think I spoke about this in not the last podcast, but the podcast before that. And we're going to do our own session, our own podcast strictly about girl bossing, the workplace, being a woman in sales like I am. I work in digital marketing sales, if you guys didn't know. Yes, I have a 9 to 5. Yes, I'm making this podcast also my 9 to 5. So like, manifest with me, if you will. However, no, we're not at that place yet. So we're still having to work, girlfriends. And we will get into the intricacies of being a female in the workplace, much less being a hustler, being somebody who works like a fucking dog, which is great, dandy, good. However, I had decided I wanted to get a different job, and I did. Yay, cheers to me. I did end up getting picked for a different position. I'll tell you guys more about it once it's solidified and I left my job and blah, blah, blah. Mind you, obviously the ops are always watching, so I want to be careful of that. I did get a new job, and it is based out of Miami here, so it's going to be nice. It's going to be hybrid. I'm very excited, but needless to say, I don't have to move until the end of December, so I get to be back in North Carolina for a little bit. all of this going to say, that means that after the holidays, or during, I should say the holidays, whatever, right after Christmas, me and my boyfriend will officially be living together, like long term, both together, names on leases, whatever. And girls, I am excited. Girls, guys, gays, everyone's. The girls, guys, gays, and the theys. I am so excited. He is the only boyfriend, I will say. I've lived with another boyfriend before, and not that it was disastrous, I just don't think it meshed very well. Like, you know, when you as two people are like, okay, this person is not, I don't know. It's like with roommates. It's literally just like a human innate thing. It's whether it's romantic, platonic, a family member, anybody. It's either like we get, like, this is vibing or it's not. I feel like it's kismet or it's not. It's either like amazing or it's fucking the worst. And that was the boyfriend I lived with previously. My only other boyfriend that I lived with. It was like the worst on a level, and I felt like I was literally like the housemaid, the chef, doing it all. And yet still, like, he wouldn't really let me redecorate. We'll get into that in another episode. But it did not feel like my home because, again, I moved in with him. A whole nother bag of tricks, bitches. Please do not do this. Please, if you guys are going to do it, move into either a more neutral space or be with somebody who's like, let's redecorate, let's redo stuff, let's make sure you feel at home, because it's also very important. Honestly, it's fucked. I think that you have to make it feel like your home. I had to make it feel like my home, and it didn't. So my current boyfriend now, we have lived together before in the past. Again, we lived together amazingly, but we didn't stay together. We ended up breaking up. Blah, blah, blah. We'll get into that timeline in a later date. You guys are really trying to know my business. However, now we do, and it's very amazing. He's really like, okay, let's redecorate. Let's, make sure you feel at home, blah, blah, blah. So we started that process, and I'm so excited. And now what I really kind of was like, okay, I need to get, everyone's opinions on. I need to see what the Open Dialogue fam is really thinking when it comes to this and what their opinions are. Is we're at this space where I obviously, when I previously dated him, I was younger. I was, 18, 19, 20, 21, that time frame. Now I'm 26. So a girl his age, she's matured. I've gotten, a big girl job. I've, started to make more money and am able to take care of myself more. And yet still our role division is very set in what we do. And he still obviously makes more money than me. Our capacities are still very different. And now we're living in one of the most expensive cities, of course. So my question is, how do you guys, with your man, with your girlfriend, with your partner, your significant other, what is the division of functions, if you will? How are you paying the bills? Who's taking care of what? Who's cooking? Who's cleaning? How do you guys decide that in your relationship? And how are you making it work the best for yourselves? Personally, in my relationship, obviously, I like to cook a lot more. I've talked to you guys about this before. If my boyfriend ever cooked for us, it would be like chicken, rice, broccoli, literally plain. The man used to use Pam. You heard me correctly. This thing is on. Pam to cook his chicken. Yes, he would season it. Don't get out of pocket. But he would literally spray a chicken breast with Pam. This is so embarrassing. I don't want him to come for me. Babe, I love you. And I'm sorry that I'm exposing you. But like, it would be like grilled cheese sort of nights vibe. And that's just not what I'm going to eat. That's not how I cook for myself. So naturally, I do most of the cooking. I take on the cooking responsibility, meaning that he buys most of the groceries. When we go out to dinner, I'll be honest, he does pay most of the time, but I do now step up. And of course, we're in Miami, so it's no longer $50 dinners, $60 dinners, babe. We're doing like $250, over $100 minimum. So it's definitely expensive. So I do pay some of the dinners as well. And where we are brawling currently, and when I say this, I don't want you guys to run with it and think like, oh my god, like, you know how people will just make it like, oh, she's arguing, she's exposing it. No, people can complain about their partners and it not be detrimental, okay? Like, I love this man, so please, like, I just want to vent, I just want to hear your guys' opinions, and we'll leave it at that, okay? So when it comes to cleaning, when it comes to laundry, those sort of things, I've always told my boyfriend, and we are very on the same page when it comes to, when we have kids, obviously, I do not want to work. I don't want to be one of those people that's fucking 6 months pregnant, still having a full sales pipeline and like grinding the corporate ladder. It's not for me. I do eventually want to get back into working and hopefully, God willing, manifesting for myself via this podcast, via starting my own brand and business. There's a lot in the works there. So I'd rather be doing that than like my current 9 to 5 where you're really stuck and tethered to like an actual job and you have to be pregnant. So naturally, if I'm at home, I'm staying home with my kids, then I would take over a lot of the responsibilities within the house. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that, but not while I'm working a fucking full-time salary. So we've had to have the conversation where it's like, okay, babe, the laundry, cleaning the toilet bowl in the bathroom, We have a room pass, so like nobody vacuums, but mopping, like those sort of things. And yes, we can do like a bi-weekly maid, that's fine, but I'm talking day to day, like we talked about with the roommates. Your girl has certain expectations of clean. Like your girl has certain thing. I'm not one of those bitches that cleans once a week. Like I'm like, let's clean a little bit every day so that we don't have to clean all the time or like for 6 hours on a Saturday. I'm not doing that. And so we've had to have that conversation where I'm like, babe, just because you're, buying all the food or whatever, your girl still works 9 to 5. Like you're working too. Granted, my man works much longer hours than me. So this is where I'm amendable. This is where I take my seat. I will be that little domestic housewifey. I get it. I get it. And also with our rent, like I'm not paying a full half portion of rent, God willing, thank God. But mind you, this is the building that he previously lived in. Like he did choose to live here. But again, I'm loving it, so there's no complaints. I also do not want to move. So it's like we've had to have that conversation. I want to know with you guys, what is your, what is your split? How have you guys rationalized this? How have you guys and your partners figured out that equal balance? And I'm also going to preface all of this to say, none of this is standard. This is so subjective. Anybody that's like, and I fucking hate this because I'll see on TikTok people being like, ugh, this is what they do. Oh, she leans on her husband 100%. I could never depend on him. Shut the fuck up. That does not work for you. And that's perfectly fine. Literally, that's perfectly fine. However, if that works for somebody else, who cares? You're not in their life. You're not fucking her man. You're not taking care of her kids. Like, all of those things are so subjective. There's no one size fits all. So I'm not saying this to say, like, okay, we all need to get on the same page. It's more of like, what pages is everybody on? Just so I can know with this MFer, I'm just kidding, but with my man to see, what you guys really think about this. Do you guys agree with what I'm saying? And I do agree that until you're at the place where you're raising this man's kids, I'm kicking my feet up because I'm pregnant. I will not be cleaning that toilet bowl every single time. I will not be the only one scrubbing out the shower. Like, the groceries and cooking is one thing, because again, I feel like that's a pretty fair, equal trade. You buy the Whole Foods, I cook the Whole Foods, and that's what we keep it at. And again, cooking is my love language. I love that. I love taking care. I'm a nurturer. She's a nurturer at heart. But when it comes to like actually taking care of the apartment and stuff like that, and if we're both working, we're both in our 9 to 5s, we're both, grinding towards our goals, that does have to be split more evenly in my eye right now. Because again, I'm still working, so I'm not going to work and then also take care of you like a baby. So we've had that conversation. We are auto-correcting, if you will. But it really did come to have those hard talks. And I've even talked to some of my friends currently, which most of my friends are married, which is so fucking crazy. Like at 26, it's like after 25, your friends flip a switch and it's like suddenly everybody's married, and now I'm like the last girl at the ball waiting for her Prince Charming, which I do have, but again, we're not getting married anytime soon. So I'm like, okay, but they have the same kind of grievances. And even ones that I've had that are stay-at-home moms, or, just mothers that work from home, or even just like they stay at home but they don't have any kids, it's kind of the same, where it's like, okay, when did we get into this default pattern where I'm just like taking care of everything, and I'm doing everything, and I'm taking care of the kids, and I'm cooking every meal, and I'm the one that's like cleaning or having to really sacrifice my own time. And that really sucks. I think as you get older and as you get more mature within your relationships, it kind of becomes like a harder balance or a harder act to understand. And it really, really, you guys, takes having those fucking horrible, difficult, not horrible, but those just really like honest conversations to be like, dude, I'm not feeling, dude, I'm like, call your man dude and see what's up. Be like, bruh, pull a bro on him, okay? That's what I'm saying. But have those conversations where it's gonna suck, it's gonna be uncomfortable, but it needs to happen. Like, that's true intimacy to me, to be able to be like, babe, this is what I need, this is what I'm ultimately wanting out of this, and this is where I feel like we're just not aligned right now, and we need to figure it the fuck out. So let me know how it goes. Let me know what your split is. And I'm just curious, you guys. And I wouldn't say that, again, it's like really plaguing me right now. We already had that conversation, and thank God my partner is very amendable. He's a fucking Cancer with a Pisces moon. So again, astrology girlies, you know what that means. But he's very sweet. He's very bendable. And he was very understanding to my perspective as I was to his. And so we were able to have that conversation. With that being said, I am so excited for us to live together. I feel like with him, it's always like having a sleepover with your bestie. Like, we're just always on that same page where I'm like, well, I don't want to make dinner. Let's go out. And it's like, oh, yes, down. Or let's order pizza. Let's do this. Like, do you want to go watch a movie? Should we just like walk to Starbucks in the morning? Like, he's just so down for whatever. And I love that. I love not feeling like I have to justify what I want, or just not even feeling like I have to be overly explaining myself. Oh my god, you guys. We will get into that, but in my last relationship, that was so prevalent that in this one, I'm like, you're not gonna plague me on like where I'm going or what I'm doing. You're not gonna be crazy and be like, no, you can't go unless you tell me where you're going. Yeah, I know. I'm shocked that I dealt with it as well, and I really don't want to get into it, but that's where I was at. So that's really all for, I would say, like, my life update. I told you guys about the job. I told you guys about me moving in with my BF. I told you guys about him coming home, which, I'm so excited. I think my dad's gonna pick us up from the airport too. So, like, get ready for the questions, babe. Like, I told him, I was like, my dad is going to quiz the shit out of you. I think it's fine. You guys know me. I'm sitting in the back, sipping my tea. I'm like, ooh, did you hear his question? Oh, how are you going to answer it? And so we'll see how that one goes. But again, a Cancer and a Capricorn, kindred signs. I think they're going to be perfectly kismet. Like, they're gonna have so much fun together, so I'm really excited for that. When it comes to, and this is something that I actually spoke about on my TikTok, if you don't follow my personal TikTok, it's linked down below. It's at You Want More on all channels, you guys. I'm consistent. But I posted a video the other day, and I was talking about mental health and how mental health doesn't always look like a depression room that looks like a hoarder, or you know, self-harming, which, trigger warning, I'm not advocating for that. Again, I'm just showing the varying levels, or as far as getting an ED or something like that. Like, sometimes mental health and fragile mental health really can just look like someone doing their best, but maybe not showering for 3 fucking days. In my case, I literally did not shower for 3 days, you guys. I was like so stressed the fuck out about not getting the podcast out for you guys, but working literally 60 hours a week and wanting to see my friends, but then also being like, damn, I feel like I don't have that many friends here in Miami, or I feel like I don't really want to go out by myself. I didn't leave my apartment for 3 days. And we have such a fucked up perception at times that fragile mental health or someone going through it is really just, oh, okay, well, you know, no, she looks fine. Like, she still can get up and put on makeup, or she can still get up and, in my case, do her job and talk to people for a living, or, you know, okay, she just didn't put her podcast out for 2 weeks. And it's much more, it can be much more of an internal turmoil, which, again, I am not invalidating. I'm not invalidating anybody else's struggle or what anybody else goes through. It will look different. Again, this is completely subjective. The human experience is subjective, like all of those things. But it was one of those things where I was like, holy shit, I really, like, my boyfriend was like, you haven't showered in a few days. Like, I was like, I am kind of going through, I'm really being hard on myself. I'm not really working out. I, again, am not showering. I'm not leaving the apartment. And although I'm killing it at my day job, and I can put on a sweater from my fucking waist up and slick my hair back and put on a little bit of makeup, on the inside, my mental is like, you're not doing the best, you're not being productive, you're not being consistent, like, what's wrong with you, you're failing, you're not doing well. And I realized a lot of it was how I was talking to myself. Like, I really wasn't journaling, and I saw how critical I was being and how I was beating myself up when I clearly didn't have the capacity to really stand up for myself, or to I don't know, just be an advocate for myself, to be like, you know what, maybe you need a break, maybe you just need to slow down, you have a lot going on right now, and maybe that's okay, that's enough. So if anyone here, you know, needs to hear that, or needs to have that validation of, you are doing okay, you're doing amazing for where you're at, and for, you know, the level of energy, the level that you're able to give right now, I'm really here to say that. And I felt like I needed to almost hear that myself, was like, it's okay to lay down. If you need 3-4 days a week to really reset and recalibrate and come back swinging and find a way that works best for you, that's okay. You're not failing, you're not doing a bad job, you're not being inconsistent. As long as you get back up and you keep going, that's literally all that matters. And whether, you know, this person's life looks like this, or this thing on social media looks like this, or, you know, the person that you're with's life looks different and they're not struggling, it doesn't invalidate that you're struggling. It doesn't invalidate that you know, are going through something. And I really hope that if that's you, if you ultimately are feeling the same way that I was feeling the last week and a half, 2 weeks, that you know that you're not alone and that it's so normal. I think, like I've said, almost all my friends are married and they're just at different places in their life. And sometimes I totally get on myself, and it's not to say that I'm in a bad place at all, but sometimes I totally get on myself and feel like, okay, these people are at a different place in life than me. And does that mean I'm at a bad place? Does that mean that's where I should be? Which is so fucking stupid and so dumb. I think something that I often have to reiterate to myself is, like, our journeys are personal. They're our own. They're exactly where we need to be, exactly at the right timing. And that's, Again, something to really remind yourself and reiterate to yourself, even in those fucking hard times. Get up, shave your pussy, get in the shower. Like, I always think Sephora cheers me up. So I'm like, if I'm gonna go spend $100 at Sephora, that's gonna make me feel better. Probably not good advice in this recession, but it works for me. So again, get up, do what you need to do, and kick ass. And don't let that little voice, that little fucking nasty, stupid voice inside your head beat you up any longer, because you deserve more than that. You deserve better than that. And you are doing fucking amazing. And I think someone needed to hear that. Someone needed to tell you that today. I will leave if you're struggling with mental health and you need help and you really need someone to talk to. I'm going to leave the information down below to get help, to get counseling, to get therapy, and I really hope that you utilize it if it's something that is been on your heart, it's been on your mind, and you're really in a place that you could utilize that. I love you guys. I hope that was super helpful if you were like me and you were really struggling, and I really hope this helps even one person, even a few people. I don't care. I know it really helped me in a time that I could use it. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. I love doing these singular episodes. I'm never going to stop doing them, mark my words. It's so therapeutic to just sit here and talk and speak over things in my crazy fucking mind to make sure that I'm not crazy. And it was lovely to just update you guys. I always want to keep you guys in on the loop on what's going on with my life. So I will see you guys in my next episode. Let me know down below, who should our next guest be? Fill out the questions, fill out the polls. And I'll see you guys in my next episode. I fucking love you guys. Have a great holiday season. Ho, 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 motherfuckers.